Hello and welcome. We're going to take a drive down Ocean Boulevard, Myrtle Beach, during the global pandemic. This video we're going to be watching together was recorded on Sunday, March 29th. It's going to be posting later in the week. I apologize for the slight delay. You know how things are right now. A little atypical, to say the least. Anyway, we are going to be approaching Ocean Boulevard from the north, so we are southbound, heading toward the commercial district. What we see right now is what some call the Golden Mile. If you were to pan left or pan right, there's some very nice homes in this section of the boulevard, and a lot of really good public beach accesses, by the way. So pro tip, really good public beach accesses in this area. Typically they have parking available, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the status of Myrtle Beach. We'll touch upon the status of the city during the recording of this video, and then the status of the city the day that this video posts. So you get a little juxtaposed there. So this, as I mentioned, was Sunday, March 29th. At this point, the mayor, Bethune, had announced that all hotel reservations must be frozen and new visitors were not allowed into town. Along with this freezing of hotel resort reservations, the facilities for entertainment, extreme leisure, things like the Carolina Opry or an arcade or a bar, things like that were completely closed. So we can't have large groups of people congregating together. So with those two things in mind, pretty much the tourism industry in Myrtle Beach has come to a screeching skid mark down the middle of the road halt. You will see during this POV there are some people walking on the boulevard. It is not a complete ghost town. If you watch a lot of these POV videos that I post throughout the year, it looks like a typical off-season day. Like there's a golf cart with people right there. You'll see some joggers, some people on bicycles. Typical to the off-season. But this is not the off-season. This is the end of March going into April. This is usually a very, very busy time in Myrtle Beach, but you wouldn't know it by looking at this video. During this day, Sunday the 29th, while driving around town to get an idea of what the people were up to, who was out in the streets and whatnot, I crossed the waterway on a few occasions and noticed that the boat activity on the Intracoastal Waterway was very dense, very, very dense. A lot of people out on the water. That was Sunday. Governor McMaster put into effect a complete hold on all boat ramps, not commercial, private water traffic. The only reason you should be in a boat is for your job, if your job is essential. So the waterway is now empty. We're not seeing the private boats out leisurely utilizing the water like we were when we were recording this video. See, there's some people riding their bikes down the street. So not a complete ghost town. Coming up here is the Breakers Resort. If you follow the channel, you've seen videos of this place time and time again. There you go. There's the status of the current tower that they're demolishing. There is a video. I actually walked up to that fence and got some footage of the demolition, but it didn't stay long. I didn't want to be out and about because there are a lot of officers patrolling up and down the road, ensuring that we don't have a lot of congregation. So I didn't want to have the stink eye in my direction, if you will. That's Lulu's Cafe, by the way, with the awesome mural we just passed. The road in front of the breaker's demolition was actually blocked off because debris was falling all over the place. So we had a little detour there. That's why we went around. So since Sunday, there have been some changes. Governor McMaster has also put a halt on any jobs that are non-essential to the state. So if your job is not on the list of essential professions or positions, then you're supposed to stay home. I will say, if you read that specific list, it's kind of vague, a lot of interpretation in there. So I'm not really sure if it's truly enforceable, but it's at least a step to try to get people to stay home, which is tough because this town is really driven by tourism, and with the tourism freeze, there are a lot of people that are not working right now. It is not a good time to be an employee in the city of Myrtle Beach right now. Right there on the left, it's hard to see, but there's someone waving a menu for Riptides, trying to get people to come in to get some pickup orders. The Skywheel is closed and has been closed for a while. That was one of the first attractions in town to actually close down. It was very early in the pandemic that the Skywheel decided to close. That makes sense because each of those gondolas, you don't get a gondola to yourself. If you're a small group, you may be put into a gondola with, if you're 2 people, you may be put into a gondola with another 2 people on a busy night. So that makes sense. Some of the private shops, especially in this portion of the boulevard, are still open, which is surprising. Some of the t-shirt shops, some of the walk-up food, open for business. And as we pass Peach's Corner, you'll see there are people in the volleyball courts. There's people on the boardwalk. People are still walking around. As we approach the former home of the pavilion, you can see traffic gets a little dense. People walking around. We'll have to do an update on this in the next few days now that there is more stricter rules and temporary laws put into place to limit the spread of the virus. So let's just continue our drive past what was the Chesterfield Hotel. We'll continue our drive southbound and complete the journey down Ocean Boulevard and get a perspective of what the south side of the boulevard looks like during these strange times. So go ahead and comment down below. Let me know what your situation's like. If you had plans to be in the Myrtle Beach area during this time. If you're here now, what's your experience like? Just general chatter like we have in all the other videos.